Hey y'all, welcome back to the shop, aka the spare bedroom. And today we're continuing on our little, um, how should we say, the original purpose of this channel, which was to brag about and show off my airsoft collection, and things that I'd worked on, among others. Please don't rob me. These are literally the only things I have of value. This today is a little bit of a peek at something that I fell into, in terms of it's kind of a trap and you probably shouldn't get one. I had all these warnings about people telling me not to buy this, and I bought it anyway, this project. So this is this. This is my Tokyo Marui Glock 17. Now, when I say Tokyo Marui, it would be faster for me to tell you which parts are actually left over from the original gun, because I could pretty much build all but a functional second one out of the parts that I took out from this. But yeah, so this one is mine. And I spent more than I'm willing to admit, probably. And, in terms of the realm of Glock 17 builds, it might be a bit much. But it is also probably going to last a bit longer than most. Start right off the bat, we have the Task Force 141 slide, because I'm a nerd. And I literally bought this before I had the gun, and it was just sitting like over here for probably 6 months or so, and I just kept looking at it and saying, "Oh man, I wish I." And then the inner nerd won over, in what has been a interesting series of impulse purchases in the last few years. But yeah, this slide is probably the whole reason I built this, and that's not a good reason, if I'm quite honest. Second thing to hit on is this is the garter reinforced slide, frame. This is the Europe marking version, because that's what I could get my hands on. Externally, we've got the standard Glock rear U sight and the Marui Glow front sight. So they're both plastic, but that doesn't seem to be a problem for me. Also, most people switch to the 3 dots, but for some reason, something to do with the squareness of it and the angular bits of the slide, I pick up the U really well. So I don't really mind. I don't really mind this sight setup too much. I think it's for similar reasons I really liked the USP sights. Not that I have a functioning one, but something about the shape of this diagonal shape with the squareness of it makes me pick it up really nicely. Also there is a bit of a difficulty in acquiring tritium sights, but seems to be a bit of damage here, which I hadn't noticed, but that is okay. We've got I believe this is a PGC Glock 18 barrel. You can tell by the cutaways. The thread is removable. It is 14 millimeter clockwise, I believe, and I don't actually have anything that fits that, but it looks very tactical, so I keep it on there. So for the record, the Glock 18 barrels do fit the 17 slides. If you can't get a matching material, or for some reason you want your slide to wear out with the steel barrel, that's cool with me. It's not it's yours. It's not mine. This is the AIP slide catch. It had a rubber thingamajig on it, and the reason I chose it was primarily for that rubber piece that has since gone missing. Now, I mean, compared to the stock one, it does sit out a bit more angled and a bit prouder, which does make it even without the rubber thing, these it does actually make it a bit easier to operate. I'm just gonna show you. There's no mag, nothing. It does make it a bit easier to operate, especially with gloves. But yeah, I didn't want that standard aftermarket slide catch that everybody else has, but unfortunately, I think I might have to go that route. I also have an extended mag release. It's not the IPSC style with the paddle, or I guess Gen 4 now also has the it's swappable, and it's also like a wedge. But this one, with the standard one, where my thumb sits, I can't release the mag, and that was kind of a problem. So I looked high and low for this solution, which I'll try to show you. It does sit quite a bit prouder than the regular mag release, and that's nice. It really does increase your ease of operation a little bit, in a functional way. It's not obtrusive and showy like some other pistols I have. I've also got a little lanyard retention here, because the gap in the back looked kind of stupid to me, but whatever. We do have, this is the Guns Modify trigger. Come on, don't lock up on me. There we go. And it is nice and short. It does kind of suck, but that's okay. If you do have a stock trigger, you will notice how much further back mine is. This is actually it's really hard to show this, but this is all the take up I have. So this is right on the sear right now, and there you go. It's actually just barely enough to catch the trigger safety, and that's exactly what I wanted. Not that the stock trigger feeling was bad. I mean, it was, but that's a different story. This is also the Guns Modify Lone Wolf style extended slide retention thing. Mine doesn't seem to work super duper good, and it may have something to do with the fact that I have mangled the spring underneath it just a little bit. Not a big deal. I've only had the slide blow off like once in testing. It's fine. But yes, it does actually sit just honestly, if you put it up side to side with the regular one, which is here somewhere, but I can't see it, you would be hard pressed to tell any difference until you actually use it, and you can actually feel a pretty significant difference. Moving on to the internals, in this guy we've got quite a bit to cover. So I already told you there's a outer barrel difference. This has, let me just check very quickly, the Prometheus 9-ball 6.03 barrel, and it also has the stock Marui hop-up rubber, mostly as an experiment, also because I had just built another pistol and I didn't have one on hand, so I was like, it can't be that bad, it's the Marui one, right? So we've got the stock hop-up unit, wheel, and hardware and whatever. I believe this is actually the stock guide rod, spring guide, because it didn't function super great with the aftermarket one, which actually really rather surprised me. Here we've got the Guns Modify blowback unit, whatchamacallit, nozzle. I do believe the rocket valve is stock, but we have I believe this is the PDI winter in quotation marks piston head. And so the only stock things in this part of the assembly are, again, the rocket valve and the screw for the piston head on the rear sight. Moving on to the frame. The only, I can tell you pretty much the only stock thing in here, in the forward frame section, is the screw, this thingamajig retention spring, and the actual frame itself, the actual forward frame itself. It has the JB Weld filling in the cavity, and it's volcanoed up slightly, similar to the Guns Modify aftermarket frame, the way the cavity is. And in fact, I would probably rather have bought that, but that actually wasn't available at the time I did this to myself. Yeah, so we've got the stock spring and the stock screw here, and the roll pins, the solid pins here and here, and I believe those are the only stock parts left in the rear assembly here. This trigger bar is steel. We've got the Guns Modify Zero hammer, the steel sear and disconnector, and steel knocker, valve knocker, and the knocker spring. Or yes, the knocker spring is one of the enhanced, meaning it's just slightly stronger spring. And yeah, as long as I shove this thing up in here, it seems to work pretty good. Again, the only real modification externally that I've made is this stuff. It's a product called Blade Tape, and it is a very Canadian solution to a problem, because this stuff is meant to replace hockey tape, the good old HPHT on your lumber. This stuff actually, the adhesive works well in the cold, which is good for when this gets cold if you've been firing a ton, and it actually gets grippier as it gets wet. Now, most people will stipple the Glock frame, and I'm not a fan of that. I know it works well, but some people have done it and it's just too aggressive. I don't trust, and mostly I don't trust myself, and my soldering iron is not that good, so I don't want to ruin anything. Additionally, the only spots that I really had any issue with grip wise was directly under my knuckle pad here, and this sort of fixes the problem entirely, for me at least. Now, whether or not we're gonna put some dish soap and water and as a stand-in for blood and blah blah blah, hopefully we're never gonna have to never gonna have to deal with that, and this won't even be the choice for that situation. But yeah, in a practical terms, it works fairly well for me. Of note, this slide and frame serial numbers do actually match, but they don't match the barrel, and the color doesn't. Whatever. It's all in all, this does the job, and it does it in a way that is like the part selection sort of reflects my philosophy on building things. Unfortunately, the price point doesn't really, at least not on my dime. But yeah, this is just a little look at something I've spent a bit too much money on, so please don't rob me. And yeah, this is that. Thanks for stopping by. See you in the next video.